Welcome back to What She Said Sports. It is the 4 p.m. midday huddle. All right, so um OTAs uh open today, and I have some takeaways. I've seen some, in my opinion, an expert breakdown analysis of Shedeur and Dylan. I have a takeaway regarding who was where, working out with whom. Um, the most glaring takeaway is that, in addition to the fact that Shedeur Sanders balled out, not a surprise, not a surprise. But one of the most glaring takeaways is they did not allow him to do the 11 on 11 reps with the first team. Now, I don't know if y'all remember OTAs in week one, okay? OTAs in week one, I remember the reporter, Mary Cabot, because we don't really hear from many other people. She seems to be the voice of the Cleveland Browns. And she went on the Rich Eisen show, which I took commentary from, that she was saying Sheduer didn't get any of the coveted reps with the 11 on 11s. He only was relegated to 7 on 7s because he has to earn it. He has to come in to do the work to earn it. And we talked about how problematic that was because she's continuing on the entitled language from the draft, right? And also the devaluing script that they played out to devalue Shedeur Sanders. So today, even after Kevin Stefanski came back on the golf course and admitted, yes, Shedeur Sanders did take 11 on 11 reps when practices were closed, meaning she supposedly wasn't allowed to see, right? She went out today after 11 on 11 and said Shedeur Sanders did not participate in 11 on 11, but he did get the opportunity to do it today. But it was not with the starters. But he is improving, getting better. Okay, this is exactly why I did the podcast at 12:30. This is exactly why I asked the question, when did Sheduer become fifth round developmental QB talent, right? That's where we left off. So OTAs have happened. He did get 11 on 11 like he did before when it was closed, even though she refuses to admit it, because in her mind, he hasn't earned that. And I don't know why she has this negative view of Sheduer. She doesn't even know him personally. So what rooms has she been in? What rooms, what information was she provided? Was she on the email list that went out to 2,000 people that did not need to know? Was she one of the 2,000 people that received his draft phone number with the waiver wire attached? Meaning she knows what the plan was during the draft, and that's why she's parroting the same language from the draft. Devaluing Sheduer, he has to earn it, he's entitled, he isn't good enough. Says when and who, right? So people are starting to, especially on X and different social media platforms, they are calling her out, and they are finally using the word that I already used. If you watched the reaction video from last night, go watch it if you haven't. It's starting to pick up steam. I said her reporting about Sheduer is biased. I did a reaction to a video, an interview that she did yesterday. It was not copyrighted, so I could do a reaction to it, and I let her speak, and then I responded. And she went in and said about Sheduer, she didn't provide any context to say that, when asked who was the best fit or who could be the best fit out of the QBs, when it came to Sheduer, she said, well, he has to learn not to drift back in the pocket. That I already disproved. It's just like the patting of the ball. All the greats do it. Sheduer was expertly trained by Tom Brady, Jeff Blake, right? Went on to be what? The most accurate passer with no O-line, especially on the right side in year 2, right? So he did all of this. The legends do it, but you don't want him to do it. And I pointed out that's nitpicking. That's nitpicking with the Browns trying to find something for Sheduer, as Kay Hayes told us, to say that he's not ready, why he shouldn't start. So today she told us what we could see for ourselves. See, when practice is closed, it seems like she can get it wrong. Oh no, he didn't get the coveted 11 on 11s. Kevin Stefanski on the golf course, yes, he did, doing closed practice. So it's like it's coveted, but he wasn't good enough to get it. So she's pushing that narrative, trying to justify why he was drafted in the 5th round, and they trying to treat him like he's 5th round developmental QB talent. But his play is showing otherwise. So just like today, it was open, we could see. So she couldn't tell us that Dylan Gabriel struggled, right? Because that's not new. I think I saw a short little stat sheet. It looked like Flacco threw interceptions, an interception or two. Same thing with Kenny Pickett. Again, not a surprise. What did I say about Kenny Pickett's career record? Touchdowns and interceptions damn near equal. It's already known that Flacco has an interception problem. So they know exactly who Flacco and Kenny Pickett are. And I don't know why they acted like they don't know who Dylan and Sheduer is, because isn't that what the pre-draft process and all of this tireless scouting is about? So now you're seeing what the scouts saw at Colorado and Oregon. Now you're seeing what the world sees in Shedeur Sanders. He been him. He's QB1. Even the NFL had him rated to go in the 1st round on their own scouting. So the question still lingers. When did Shedeur Sanders become a 5th round QB? And question 2 or 1A, why is she pushing that narrative based on defamatory language such as entitled, he has to earn it from the draft in Cleveland? Why is she the only one doing it publicly? Why is she the only one trying to take away any positives about Sheduer? So today, there was an interception, but it was a perfectly placed ball, right? And the receiver got beat on coverage. I don't think that should ever go against the quarterback. So everybody knows it wasn't a bad throw, so you're not going to really hear about it. The receiver got beat, but see, here's the problem with not allowing Sheduer, who's an elite QB1, to work out with the other elite players. They have an elite QB1, Shedeur Sanders, working out with people they say not going to even make the team. Is it a surprise he got beat on coverage? Probably not. Is it a surprise that the first person he threw open got it? No. This one should have got it too. But he's not on the A team or the B team. So they have our guy, Shedeur Sanders, QB1, that people are now reporting and saying what? There are people in that building who believe that Sheduer can be QB1. You know what she should have said? There are people in that building who know Sheduer is QB1. So they still trying to keep up the rules from the draft. He's just not that good. And that wasn't said by a scout. That was anonymous. And it looks like the Giants fired many of their scouts. I would love to find out who they fired. They would be great to talk to. Because why were they fired? You got to blame somebody when people want to rob a bank. And somebody got to get blamed so they don't get caught. Somebody got to be the scapegoat. We already said Coach Prime was a scapegoat. Is it possible that the scouts that were fired in the Giants were also scapegoats? So the Giants want to set it up like we got bad information, when they know for a fact their coach, who met Sheduer extensively also, many times, maybe not as many as Cleveland, was problematic and should not have a job. He should be fired. So the NFL, doesn't want to hold the people who defamed Sheduer accountable? So instead of doing that, what do? They got the rules taking place through Mary Cabot, the lone Cleveland Browns reporter that we have to get our information from when we can't see through open practice. So there's no transparency here, whether it's from her when practice is open or closed, because her credibility is shot. At this point, she's just a talking head, because now when she says things, people go check themselves, because she's still going down the road after Kevin Stefanski said, when the practice was closed, he got 11 on 11 reps. She came back today and said, no, he didn't. She just want to be right. She don't want to get it right. She wants to be right. Whatever it is that she has to say about Sheduer, and 9 out of 10 is negative, she wants to be right about that, rather than maybe Kevin Stefanski is right because he was there and you were not. She has inserted bias where Shedeur Sanders is concerned multiple times. And when a caller called in and basically said, I was with y'all at first, but everything I've seen of this guy is a class act, maybe I didn't want him to go second, but he looks like a class act. After the host said, yeah, and he definitely got likability, always happy. She was like, yeah, we haven't heard any of that negative talk from like the other team. Because if she said teams with an S, it was only one team. And it wasn't the majority of the teams. The NFL decided to follow the defamatory statements from one team out of the 4 he met with. Now, where they do that at? So going back to OTAs, I see it being a problem that they have Sheduer throwing to people who they don't think gonna make the team. But I guess what I heard Tony Reese say, don't know who that is, offensive coordinator possibly or somebody. He said when talking about who's taking first team reps, yeah, it does wonders for you when you out there throwing the ball and you see Jerry Jeudy. So why they don't want to do wonders for Shedeur Sanders? Why they want him to throw to people who likely not gonna make the team that they call camp bodies? That's what they call walk-ons, camp bodies, right? And they don't expect them to make the team. Why would you want your elite QB throwing to these guys? Because you know eventually somebody gonna mess up. But even with him throwing 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s with defense, he did damn good. No bad throws. The receiver got beat in coverage, and it took 3 people to get that interception to make it happen. He was blanketed. He was covered. It was a tight window. Maybe if he's a little bigger, he could have had it. Maybe if he's a little faster, he could have had it. But it shows that when coverage is tight, he ain't no Travis Hunter. That ain't on Shedeur. Maybe that's why you're not going to hear so much about it. But he balled out when defense was present in 11-on-11s. Again, not the first team. He balled out 7-on-7s. Again, not the first team. So here's my question. I got 2. Are the Cleveland Browns and the NFL, because understand, just because you can't see them, this is their franchise. So is the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, are they scared to let Sheduer take open 11-on-11 reps with the starters because they know what we're going to see already? He's consistent. He's consistently good. And they were all proud and trying to hype up Dylan Gabriel, especially Mary Cabot. And I noticed something else. Instead of, like last time, Dylan Gabriel took reps before Sheduer, or was 11-on-11s because they covered it, right? He got to do that, and Sheduer didn't. Even though Stefanski said he did. They put Dylan where Sheduer was instead of letting Sheduer get where Dylan was. So why didn't Sheduer get to take the 11-on-11 reps with the first team? All he been doing is balling out. Like that Reese guy said, it does wonders when you throwing the ball and you see Jerry Jeudy. But Sheduer didn't get that opportunity, and he definitely earned it. He was the only one interception free till today, and his interception that really shouldn't go against him was about his receiver get burnt in coverages. The ball was perfectly placed. People wanted to know why he didn't go to the tight end, why he went to the receiver. Ask him. But another thing, Sheduer shouldn't have to be the only one in this QB pseudo battle because it's not real. That's perfect. He got to be perfect, and then he can move on to reps with the first team. No. Sheduer has already proven over Dylan what we knew in college, and it's the NFL. Sheduer is better than Dylan in the NFL, and he probably know it too. Now, while he had some, good reps or whatever, he was struggling with completing passes. His height is glaring. When they show him lined up in front of the team with 11-on-11s or 7-on-7s, the camera behind him, oh, Lord, everybody taller than him. That's why Mason Graham batted his ball down. That could be why his reps are not completing. I don't know, but it's obvious. So they're going to keep on with that. Okay, whatever. Some people say, you know what, let Dylan have it and send Sheduer to a different team. Understand this. This not just the Cleveland Browns. This the whole NFL. The same 32 teams that passed him up, 5 times? They all in on it. All of this is proven. All of this time that we get while a judge is trying to figure out whether to say it's frivolous or stall and kick it out, we get the opportunity to see what this is really about. Because we know Dylan's struggling. We know Joe Flacco got an interception problem. We know Kenny Pickett got an interception problem. But we know Sheduer is the best QB. But they won't even, in 11 on 11s that are open, let him take reps with the first team. You know why? For those who hang out with us all the time, what have I said countless times what this is about? Drop what this is about in the chat. We know he don't need to prove himself because he already had. He was proven from college. Now he's proven in the NFL. He proved he's better than Dylan in college. Now we see he better than Dylan in the NFL. But he not just better than Dylan. He better than who? He better than Pickett. So move him out the way. Last week it was, well, maybe it should be Flacco and Sheduer 1 and 2, right? Well, guess what's happening this week? It should be Sheduer. So yes, there are people in the building that know he can be and should be QB1. But here's the second question I was asking. Why is the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, why are they playing keep away with QB1 for Shedeur Sanders? Anybody know? Why are they, the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, playing keep away with Shedeur Sanders at QB1? You know how you know that's what they're doing? And the longer this goes on, the more obvious it's going to become. Because now I see 2 trains going down one track, two trains going down 2 different tracks to the same exact destination. One track with a train on it is Deshaun Watson, who, by the way, was 8-4 as a starter in Cleveland. That ain't too bad, is it? So on this track, did the Cleveland Browns really take a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson? Not if he 8-4 as a starter. Because what did we show yesterday? Earlier today, when we broke down their record and their schedule and their games. There was instability with the first 3 QBs of the season. And they amassed a winning record. And then they handed it over to Flacco, who had the consistency. DTR, Watson, and PJ Walker would not allow consistency at the QB position. They rotated all 3 for three games. And Deshaun Watson, the second time they played the Ravens, with Deshaun Watson at the helm, they won. So why the first time they played the Baltimore Ravens, didn't they put in Deshaun Watson? They put in DTR, the guy that was picked in the 5th round. See, it looks like, and this is fresh, but this is the other track that has emerged. It looks like the excessive sacks. It looks like the switching off to wide receiver, saying that black men are inferior to whites, therefore they don't have the intellectual capacity to be quarterbacks. It looks like Joe Gilliam. I amassed a winning record, and you want to hand it to a white QB. So instead of one QB, like Deshaun Watson, getting to play all the games and create the winning record himself, they weaponized instability in the rotation of the QBs, and all 3 played. So no one person could take the credit for the winning record that they handed over to Flacco, who very visibly had the stability. He lost the first game, but they allowed him to keep going and keep going and keep going, and he won the last 4. But he got injured, so he couldn't show up for the last game. Did they go back to the first 3? Nope. They went to somebody I didn't see all season. Why they didn't go back to Deshaun? If he was injured, why you didn't go back to PJ Walker? He won 2 in a row. Why you didn't go back to DTR? He took reps with Flacco. They went to somebody we hadn't seen, who didn't even play preseason. That's another train that has emerged. And the longer this goes on, the truth is going to come out about how Deshaun Watson got a $240 million guaranteed contract after 22 civil lawsuits. And I have a feeling it might have something to do with collusion. Again, you don't get a $36 million pay raise after filing 22 civil lawsuits, after settling 22 civil lawsuits. And then when you get to your new team, when your feet hit the pavement, you have a $36 million raise, making you $46 million a year, and the only fully guaranteed contract in the NFL in history. After the way they treat black quarterbacks, what? You must be special. Or did the truth come out behind closed doors and now it's going to come out to the public? How that went down. Because did the Cleveland Browns really take a big swing and miss when Deshaun Watson has an 8-4 record as a starter? To be continued. So we're going to get back on this track to Shedeur Sanders. They have Shedeur Sanders, elite QB1 talent that nobody can answer the question, when did he become 5th round developmental QB talent? They have him playing with players they don't expect to make the team. Is that a message? Are they sending him a message? Are they continuing on with the defamatory narrative about him being entitled? So we're going to rub it in your face and you're going to have to earn it? So they're carrying over the narrative from the draft? Are they scared? Because they've seen Sheduer ball out, and so have we. Ball out at rookie minicamp, 28 of 30, over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns in one day. OTAs week 1, 13 of 13, 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns. And he didn't get the most reps. He got the least and made the most with it, which meant he was efficient. And that's making him look like he a future rookie of the year, because that's what it's based on, or should be. So are the Cleveland Browns scared after all of the success that Sheduer has had in such a short period of time to allow him and the public to see him do 11-on-11 drills, take reps with Jerry Jeudy? Why? Why haven't we seen that? Because they're holding him back. They know he good. And now we see it. We already knew it, but this is post-draft. So you take everything that happened in the draft and they just pick it up and shift it to Cleveland. So you got Mary Cabot saying he don't get the 11 of coveted reps. He going to have to work for it. She repeating what Andrew Berry said. It would surprise me if somebody had pictures of them two at lunch together. Because she basically taking what he said and she's just saying it. He going to have to come in here. He going to have to work. He going to have to do this. Check. Done. So why have we not seen Shedeur Sanders take 11-on-11 coveted reps with the starters? Does anybody know? Because if I see that and we all see it at the same time and we all talk about it at the same time, it's going to be so hard to only let him play in the preseason. They damn sure can't even cut him right now. They can't even cut him right now. They can if they want to, but they really can't. Not without a fight. From who? The fans. So courtrooms are not really the problem. Now your fans see what's going on and they don't like it. When you look at these platforms that are out here, 98% of the comments are for Shedeur Sanders and calling out the lies. And everybody's not black. So what we already know, that he is QB1, he should have been drafted in the first round. He should have probably have gone to Cleveland, the team he's on right now, which means they have devalued him and robbed and ran his pockets. So they have his services for $4 million instead of 40. That needs to be rectified immediately. So they holding him back. They know he's the best QB they have. Maybe that's why Mary Cabot's like, not that we could believe her, but maybe that's why she's saying, if one of the rookies get it, rather than saying, yes, Sheduer actually came here and balled out better than our expectations. You know why they can't say that? because they was going to draft him at number 2. You don't draft somebody at number 2 and you don't know what to expect from them. They know exactly who she is. Stefanski said it. Excuse me. They know exactly who Sheduer is. Stefanski said it. Andrew Berry said it. They ain't got nowhere to go. They backed into a corner now. Because, I mean, I want you to imagine a mob of fans backing a few people like Andrew Berry and, what's her name? I call her Mary Catherine, into a corner. Mary Cabot, into a corner. And they want explanations. Why did we not see Shedeur Sanders on the only day of Open OTAs take reps with the starters? Why, if it's a good feeling and it makes you feel good when you're throwing a ball and you see Jerry Jeudy, why did he not get that experience? Are you trying to assert he's 5th round talent? And when did he become 5th round talent, since y'all met with him extensively and was going to draft him at number 2? We need answers. So those are my takeaways from OTA today. Rather than let Sheduer do what Dylan did, they brought Dylan over here with Sheduer. The 7-on-7s, the 11-on-11s. They basically pointed out that it does make you feel good when you're throwing a ball to see Jerry Jeudy, but they didn't give Sheduer that experience. And it was actually said that Sheduer didn't even get 11-on-11s because that's a coveted experience and he has to earn it. So now they fighting on their words because Mary Cabot said he didn't get it and Kevin Stefanski said he did. It was closed. So who lying and who telling the truth? Pretty soon they gonna be pointing the fingers at each other because somebody gonna get fired. Somebody gonna get fired because not only could they have had Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, they botched the whole Shedeur Sanders draft at number 2 by trading away Travis Hunter. So they didn't want that to happen at all. And could you please tell me why? I thought this was about building competitive teams that could get and win the Super Bowl. So if that's not what it's about, what is it about? Should I start a 3rd track and put a train on it? So there will be more about Deshaun Watson. Because I knew when I found out, I was like, I didn't even really not know what was going on with Deshaun Watson, to be honest. But when the owner come out and say we took a big swing and miss after I'm already curious about, now, how did he get a $240 million guaranteed contract? Why they don't talk about that in the news? That's what they ought to be talking about. Now, how did this happen? And how did Stephon Diggs just get to come roll back up in the practice with this peak substance that we saw Diddy with? Show looks the same. It had a little tool, a little cylinder, slim tool that, you could use to consume. And if that's what Diddy had, then, they said what he did with it. Is that what Stephon Diggs going to do with it? I mean, did the NFL even ask? Or they just like problematic people? But then when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, he gets defamed, slandered, and made to seem like the worst person in the world. His talents degraded and his pockets picked. And then he got to go to Cleveland after they couldn't push him down an undrafted free agent. And now he got to work for it because 11-on-11s are coveted. He couldn't even get the regular 11-on-11. He couldn't even get the supersize. He couldn't even get the regular 11-on-11, so he surely can't get the supersize. And she seemed happy. He had 11-on-11s, but it wasn't with the first team. They sure seemed happy Sheduer not getting to do QB1 stuff. So, what do y'all think? It says, hey, everybody. Hey, Tina. It says, yes, I noticed that too. They didn't give those reps with the ones. Let the games continue. Facts. Let the games continue because that's exactly what's being played. A game in our faces. So Mary Cabot, even though she still got her job, she has no credibility. When she says something, people going to go check with somebody else or they just going to look to see what came out of practice. Do you have any footage that you can share? Because we really don't care about what you got to say. She just basically upended her own credibility. People are calling her out as biased. People are wondering why she working so hard to say Sheduer didn't get a touchdown and this one particular touchdown and it's over with now because they're going to go back to close OTAs tomorrow. We're not listening to her. So people just wanted to see today what they could see for themselves. And they pointed out he had a damn good day. He really did. And people pointed out, yes, it's considered an interception, but it wasn't because of a bad throw. Excellent ball placement. So now people are thirsty to see and asking, when we going to see him throw to Jerry Jeudy? I guess they're going to make us wait the preseason. So, it's a game. I think everybody now realizes, oh, this is a game. Because what they expected to see in an 11 on 11s, they didn't give a damn about Shedeur throwing to the 14 with a defense. They didn't, because they know he's good. Most accurate QB sack, how many times she pointed it out? They said on their podcast, Shedeur Sanders' fan base doesn't like when you point out the fact that he had 10 interceptions in his second season. I'm like, you could point it out all day long. In fact, I want you to go point out how he got sacked 8 times and they still beat Baylor. I want you to point that out. I want you to point out how he got sacked 52 times in the first season and only had 4 interceptions. And then I want you to point out how in game 1, 2, and 3 of year 1, first game against natty contenders TCU, Mr. 500 was born. His nickname, legendary. And y'all say he couldn't do it because he went to HBCU. Talk about that. He had an O-line. He had an O-line in game 2. Did you watch the game with what was it? Colorado State? Did you watch that game? Did you watch that game? Because that was a game. You see what I'm saying? So the fix is in Cleveland. It's a game. They hold the Sheduer back. They refuse to allow him to get in against the 14. People they don't think they're going to make it. Camp bodies. Why they got him with the camp bodies? Why they don't value Shedeur Sanders? Because anybody tell me why they don't value Shedeur Sanders? Why, if a team that has been so Super Bowl deprived in I don't know how long, if ever, is not happy and overjoyed that they have Shedeur Sanders, who they wanted at number 2, and they only got his skill set for $4 million spread out over 4 years, which is roughly $1 million a year and less than that after taxes. So basically, they won the lottery, but they're not happy about it. They weren't happy on draft night, and they're not happy right now. You think they will be, hey, look at my shiny new Hermes Birkin that I got for $19 because it fell on the floor or somebody pushed it off the shelf. Why they not happy? Because this is about what? And the more time this goes, the more games they play, the more evident it's going to become. And now, instead of just Sheduer, one train on a single track, we got 2. Deshaun Watson. What really happened after he asked for a trade? All right. Sheduer did awesome. Yes, Terrence. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much. It said, at this point, I want Cleveland to let Sheduer go. We know he's a QB. I don't know where he's going because the rest of them in on it too. And they just going to do him like Geno Smith, so let it stay right there. He seemed to be in good spirits, and that's all that matters. And the truth could keep coming out, and I could keep these trains going down these dual tracks, and then we're going to get somewhere. So he good. They also probably do give Sheduer reps with the ones behind closed doors. Maybe they want to be quieter. They want to quiet the noise. It's not noise. I mean, why would you hide if he's balling out? They already said he wasn't good. Isn't that what they said in the draft? They said he wasn't good. So why would I hide that fact unless I'm in on it? See, I can collude with you or against you. So Cleveland is just mimicking what already took place in the draft by devaluing Shedeur Sanders' skill set. This ain't about the money no more. That was done in the draft. Now it's about where you are on the depth chart. And he not even on it. So him taking reps, not getting his jersey, because he a 5th round draft pick, so he don't get to choose. But Travis Hunter gets his jersey because he does, and they gave him Travis's number, and they gave Travis his money, and they picked Travis instead of him. Understand there's something happening here. People saying punishment for what? Show me what he did and deserved to be punished for. Nothing. He did nothing. You got Stephon Diggs staring you in the face to show you, and he back at practice. And he still got his guaranteed money, $26 million of $65. So why Sheduer can't get his money? Why is Sheduer taking reps with the 14, the camp bodies, the people they don't expect to make the team? You have Shedeur Sanders, elite QB1, playing advanced ball, throwing his receivers open. And some get it, but they all not, because why? Everybody is not elite. So they saying he got to earn it. He already earned it. They know exactly who he is. It's not a coincidence they met with him extensively. They're not punishing him at all. They're ruining their brand. Mary Cabot has already ruined her credibility. Nobody believes what she says. She's on X showing people that, oh, it really wasn't a touchdown. And somebody said, oh, we really doing a review of a touchdown in OTAs? That's how important it is to her to devalue Sheduer. The sad part is, why is Cleveland and the NFL allowing it? I asked the same question during the draft. She's media, right? During the draft, I said, why would the NFL allow the media to tear down their draft picks? Then we found out that they sent out the phone number, so they was in on it. So what can you conclude? That Mary Cabot is not acting alone. So the longer this takes, the more the truth gonna come out. He made a wise decision not going to the tight end, because the tight end will have gotten creamed. Okay, at that angle, if that was full contact. You know what? That's why I said, why don't you just ask him? Why don't you just ask him? And see, here's the thing. Based on what sticks in the media, what gets highlighted, what they parrot tells you the agenda. If I don't talk about the tight end, then I know he know what he doing, and somebody gonna point that out. So I'm going to steer clear past the tight end. All I have is that this guy's foot was on the line, but when people look at the video and they slow it down, that's not the case. So people take video over stills because you can kind of back up and see. Isn't that what they look at when they review plays? But why are we reviewing plays in OTAs? Why is it so important that Sheduer not get another touchdown? The longer this takes, the more the truth is starting to come together like a bunch of folders on my desk, and I'm just putting them together. And now, instead of Sheduer, I got Deshaun. 8-4 as a starter. So did Cleveland really take a big swing and miss? And why is it that the Cleveland Browns don't want Shedeur Sanders to take 11-on-11 reps with the starters where the public can see? The media can see. It was people taking cameras all different angles. People just wanted to record. Because I heard it said, when Sheduer's out there, everybody recording. That don't happen with everybody else. So they know he's a draw, and they still don't want to highlight that. Kenny picked it. Yep. It said, you say 17. Yep, 17-32. Prove they concluded. Yes, it does. I guarantee the first team wants Sheduer throwing. Hell yeah. These guys like to play ball. The guys that's the fourth team, oh, they so damn happy to, when they get a touchdown, go look at their reactions. Boy, they be so excited, and he making them look good. All of Shedeur's receivers got to the NFL. Two was drafted. 3 was drafted. Travis, LeJontay, and Jimmy, and then Will Shepherd was the 4th. And I heard there's an update on him, so I'm gonna have to go find out. And if y'all know about it, drop it in the chat. I heard there was an update about Will Shepherd's career, so we're gonna have to check into that. So all of his receivers, the only college football program that has a football program, the only college that has a football program, the only university to have all of its receivers come out of the draft to the NFL. This ain't about Coach Prime. When 10 people get together and rob a bank, who they gonna blame so they don't get in trouble? Coach Prime. He's a scapegoat. And that is becoming more and more evident every single day. It said, because the Cleveland Browns do not want another melanin QB. And you know how we know? Because we starting to see it now that we look back at what? The 2023 season. That is very telling. That is very telling. That's exactly what they did to Joe Gilliam. Instead of using one QB to build the winning record and hand it over to a white QB, what did they do? They used 3, and they amassed a winning record. And what did they do? Hand it over to Joe Flacco, who was on the practice squad. That's a slap in the face. He got the consistency. They got rotated. But they did good because they still walked away with a winning record. And they just served it on up like steak on a platter to Joe Flacco, who's on the practice squad. So chances are, when they brought him in on the practice squad, they knew exactly what was going to happen. I could see if they had a losing record and they took Flacco off the practice squad. No, they had a winning record. So why not let them keep going? The same reason they didn't want Deshaun Watson to play Baltimore the first time they played Baltimore. They sent DTR. They didn't send PJ Walker because he had two in a row. So it looked like Deshaun Watson and PJ Walker were the two strongest links, and they let DTR take reps. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I say something about you, if I put out a stereotype about you that you don't have a capacity to lead, and I put three of y'all out here to play 7 games and don't get you the stability when we know that that's important. We even talked about it with Colorado, having 2 superstar QBs already, but do we rotate them? And they said no, because that's dysfunction. So I weaponize instability in the QB rotation against the 3, but they still come up with a winning record. And I take it from them and I give it to Joe Flacco. That's not right. That's just Joe Gilliam all over. And that's why it was 3 instead of 1. So the longer this takes, the more games that they play. And now it's other people out here calling out Mary Cabot. I didn't see all of that before. I know people say they don't like her, but I mean, they making posts and they actually, some of them tagging her and asking her, why is she so biased against Sheduer? And the voices is going to get louder and louder. And the more they try to play keep away and hide Sheduer from the fans, they're going to keep talking. Because what happened after Travis Hunter's first incident of public disrespect after the OSU game? People who knew who he was, meaning fans, and people who did not, grew concerned. And today's takeaway from 11 on 11 and looking at how they were treated in 2023 makes me, you know what? I'm going to go back and look at 2024 and see what's going on. I already took a peek. They only had 2 quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. They treat Winston like he just a comedian to them. He good for laughs, to entertain. And I hate that for him. But it's good he up there with Russ and they up there together, to be honest. So pairing these black quarterbacks together going to turn out better than they ever thought it would. It's really going to shock them because they don't expect them to stick together. See, what Deshaun should be doing, that he probably is doing, is showing people behind the scenes what it's really like. That's why he up there every day. He trying to say, oh, I could play. It's them. And that's the message. It's not Deshaun. Yes, he was wrong, but he was not the only one. I saw a clip of Deshaun walking with another player from the Texans who people said was also involved. And I was like, I wonder if it's documented how tight they were. If they went everywhere together after practice. If they did everything together. If they introduced this person to that person and Deshaun introduced him to somebody and he introduced Deshaun to somebody. And they were protecting him. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Just like they want to hold out Joe Flacco coming off the practice squad and handing him a winning record and giving him stability. And now they don't want to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity with the starters because he's going to ball out and we're going to see it or we're going to find out about it. And they're not going to be able to turn back and keep holding him back because their plan is what? Maybe if he's still on the team, let him play the preseason game and they'll shut up. Nope, because he's going to ball the hell out. Watch what I tell you. That's all he's been doing thus far. So they're going to have somebody on the team that's willing to drop a pass, just like the Baltimore Ravens. So now y'all see how this is all connected. These are all quarterbacks. I wonder who Cam Ward taking reps with in Tennessee. Let me go look. It said they need to release Sheduer. I'm tired of the NFL in Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to release it to, Tina, but I agree. But this is this is collusion again. This is a collaborative effort to hold him back. Good afternoon, fam. That's why I asked the question in the title of the Midday Huddle. I said the NFL and Cleveland Browns. Is the NFL and the Cleveland Browns playing keep away at QB1 for Shedeur Sanders? That's what it looks like. Why wouldn't you, after he balled out After you said he got to come in and get it done. After he got to work his butt off. Oh, he was already good. But he came in here and balled out and exceeded expectations 5 stars. And now you don't want to let him work out with the group that everybody wants to see. 11 on 11 with defense with the number ones. Show us that. Because they just want him preseason only. Now, DTR was preseason with another guy that we never saw again. But he did go on to play in the regular season, and he got some of the tough games. And Deshaun Watson should have had those games because he was their QB1. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So you're going to start to hear people in a couple of weeks saying, do they just not want him to be QB1? Let's see what the media say. Because one thing I've noticed, whoever show ESPN is on, Get Up, and whoever Louis Riddick is on, it's 2 guys, Louis Riddick and another guy, Scott or Stewart. Those 2 right there are going in. They are going in. And ESPN is allowing them to go in. And Stephen A. and the people above him that you never see allowing them to go in. Just like Stephen A. said, this looks like collusion, and the NFL is not about talent. The draft is not. He was allowed to say that. He might have said it on his own platform, but he still got a job. Interesting. There are analysts that's starting to come out that are not black that are saying what? He the best QB they have. And they know it's a game too. So we're not the only ones that know it's a game, but y'all need to keep calling it out. Keep calling it out. It said if Sheduer becomes QB1 in Cleveland, the Browns will not be able to remove him from that spot. No, they're not. And if he becomes QB1, and see, it shouldn't be a problem. Because one of the reasons they wanted Sheduer to Cleveland at the number 2 spot was because Deshaun Watson was already there, and it was one black QB and another one, and they were stacked together, just like Jalen Hurts down in Philadelphia now with DTR, who left Cleveland, just like it is in New York with Jameis Winston behind Russell Wilson. Just like Joe Milton is behind Dak Prescott, but they spread out J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones, and Sam Darnold. And they swear they're not going to ever see Jalen Milroe. I don't know why not. Injuries happen. And in Cleveland, injuries is how Sheduer get to the top because they're going to keep holding him back. They're going to use him like DTR. And if they use Sheduer like DTR, he going to win. Because I don't know DTR. I know they drafted him in the 5th, but I don't know if he was a high prospect. We know exactly who Sheduer is. We know he's not a 5th round draft prospect. We know he's an elite QB1 drafted in the 5th round, and they refuse to say it that way because it raises questions. Because it's irrational and it doesn't make sense, and you cannot justify Sheduer being a 5th round draft pick. So they can keep playing if they want to, but I'm just going to get more train tracks because I got 2 now. And what happened in Cleveland in 2023 looked like is what happened to Joe Gilliam. Instead of 1 QB like Joe Gilliam, it was 3 black QBs. Walker, DTR, and Watson. If one of the 3, if they secured the winning record, one of the 3 should have been allowed to go on. And even if they wanted Flacco to come in, because maybe for whatever reason, the point is, when Flacco couldn't produce in that last game, they went with an unknown that didn't play at all instead of going back to one of the 3. Because they didn't want them to get the shine, just like Lamar Jackson in the goddamn Super Bowl game that eliminated them. Same thing. Now you see that differently. Now, because people like, it's something out right here. Well, go look at the history and then it'll make sense. Then it will make sense. I always called it. That guy was messing up before halftime, which meant to me he was tapping out and didn't want to do whatever the hell they was trying to do. That's why they didn't get rid of him. And when people ask, are you going to get rid of them? What did the GM say? No, we already moved on. We're not making no major changes. And we looking at draft tape. Flacco proved he couldn't be there at the most critical moment, right? So if he went to Indianapolis in 2024, why bring him back in 2025 and he 2 years older and could withstand the pressure, which was similar. The hit he took was similar to what Pat Mahomes took in the Super Bowl. And before I knew that, what did I say? I said, he's not going to be able to withstand one of those Pat Mahomes hits like the Super Bowl. It already happened. It was dialed back a little bit, but it still was up there. I don't know how he didn't have whiplash. And then they're going to bring him back and entice him to get off his couch for $4 million with an incentive $13 million. For what? Whose performance is that based on? When Deshaun Watson was consistent, they took him out. When PJ Walker was consistent with the W's, they took him out. When Joe Flacco was consistent after he lost, they kept him in. But then when they needed him, he couldn't be there. Probably because he's 38 at the time and now 40. Joe Flacco's a cool dude. I like him. This is not about them at all, unless they part of the problem. And silence does make you part of the problem. But the point is, the longer this takes, the more that's going to come out. And now you can start to see Baltimore into the conversation and what really may have possibly happened. Who they wanted to give the shine to. That's what it looks like. Joe Gilliam builds a winning record. It gets snatched from him and given to Terry Bradshaw. They don't get losing records from these black quarterbacks. They get winning records. Same thing with the 3 in Cleveland in 2023. They get the 7-4, snatch it and give it to Flacco so he could be the hero. Baltimore, they doing all of this work down here and it gets snatched away by somebody who has been there and not the people they brought in for Lamar Jackson to throw to. So they wanted 89, the tight end, to be the hero. I already told y'all they trying to get them tight ends somewhere because they don't feel like they don't see us being the majority. And that's going to be the one they turn to when they like, I can't keep them from the quarterback spot. The fans going to say something. So let's just go ahead on and pay the tight ends like they QB1s. It's always something. Another hurdle Sheduer going to have to face. But as long as he in good spirits, we going. Because now I see the fruits of this. And it's all starting to come together. And now that I done mentioned Baltimore, well, hell, that's just another track. We might not talk about that one that much, but it's going in the same destination. And it starts with Joe Gilliam until I go further back with Briscoe. And I did check, and people gave me articles. Lou Saban was second cousins with Nick Saban. 17-32. That's it. 17-32 up the check, because that's what we talking about. And the longer this takes, see, that means Sheduer has a purpose. That means Sheduer has a purpose, and they can't hold him back. And he going to break through as soon as the truth come out. And it ain't nothing they can do. Nothing. Because if you cut him, it's going to be a problem. Because the fans are invested. And I don't just mean Colorado fans. I don't mean Shedeur Sanders fans. I mean football fans. Because that voicemail that they left on that host podcast saying, well, I was with y'all. I was with y'all about him, saying, listening to what y'all was saying. But, I mean, everything I've been seeing, he a class act. And they're like, yeah, he always happy. He always good. So why he got to earn it? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It said the Myra family is a foundational franchise. They got the other owners on code against it. And I do believe. I said that. Thank you. Who said that? What you say? Oh, no, that's a D. I said it. I said there is a pecking order to these owners. And the newest teams or the newest owners has got to go along with it. Not that they are excused from collusion, because they're not. But they did this against Lamar Jackson already. I told y'all Lamar Jackson been colluded against 3 times. So thank you. There you go. I can't wait to see Sanders play against my Panthers. First preseason game this season. Hell, they might intentionally let Dylan play instead of him. They might. Who knows what they're gonna do? First of all, he got to make the team, because I don't know if she's lying to tell the truth. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, the credibility is not there, so we gotta wait and see what's really gonna happen. She could be right, but since she don't have no credibility and she keep on about these 11 on 11s, you can't trust nothing she say. So now you gotta just kind of wait and see, or see if somebody else says it. Hopefully they didn't get the information from her. And that's what I wanted. Who said that? Relax and talk sports. What I said was what? I said I can't wait to that first preseason game, because technically it's Jimmy Horn Jr. versus Shedeur Sanders. Did we not say that? Yep. I don't think they are necessarily sending a message, because a couple of walk-ons got signed that stayed after practices with Sheduer. That's good, but understand, understand. He still got to make the team. He's still not on the roster. They won't even say he's good. So we shall see. We shall see. But I did hear some people got signed, but they also have to make the 53-man roster. They would have looked races to pass on higher ranked Sheduer for Dart. The questions would have been endless. Well, that's exactly what they did. Why do you think they ran out to get black QBs after never having a black starter? Facts. That's facts. What's happening? What's happening? It said, you're right about Baltimore. Yep. Thank you, A. Woods. It said, but that was on Lamar too. I want you to understand something. The NFL has colluded against Lamar Jackson 3 times. He got robbed of the MVP, and everybody know it. When people sit down and just put it all together, they'll go back to the draft where he had already won the Heisman, and they devalued him and pushed him down to number 32 and publicly humiliated him. Sheduer, it's the same thing. It's just the most extreme case. And guess what they did the next year after they pushed Lamar Jackson down? They said he was too short. He was 6'3". He is 6'3". They went and drafted Kyler Murray. How tall is Kyler Murray? That was the first person they drafted. So was Kyler Murray really the first draft pick? Or was it because y'all said he was too short, now I'm going to go get somebody that short? So there's not no even playing field. Right. There's no even playing field. God will make a way out of no way. Right. Right. He's already the best. They're going to still put him in the back unless they look, the fans are having things to say. Just go and put him out there. They're going to figure something out. If they start to do a game 1, it will be to sabotage him. It depends on who the first game is. When they put DTR out there with Baltimore, that's crazy to me because Deshaun Watson was QB1 or 2. One, I think. So they put DTR out there, in my opinion, make him look bad because that didn't make no sense. And then Deshaun plays against Baltimore, and what he wins. Well, why not just let Deshaun play the harder parts of the schedule? Why do that to DTR? And they traded him anyway to Philly. And what did people say about Philly in the draft? That they was getting ready to trade up to Sheduer. Why? Because they didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have a backup. So he was going to be a backup, but maybe that's not good because he deserves to be QB1. Maybe God like, no, he's not going to Philly because Jalen. So he going to be right here in Cleveland, and they're going to fix this. They're going to fix this. It said, wait, Shedeur signed. So that means he haven't made the roster yet. No, he has not made the roster. He's the 5th QB on the team. He's not on the depth chart. They keep saying he's the 4th string QB. I think Mary Cabot is saying that because she must believe that Deshaun Watson is not coming back. And I don't know if she even knows what she's saying when she's saying that because of the way she says it. So she said he's taking 4th string reps. That means they don't expect Watson to come back, but I say Watson could be a wild card. Rosters are set after training camp. Some players will be cut. They make the 53-man roster cut. It's a universal date in the NFL set by the league itself, somewhere around August 29th. So you got 4 days to get it together when you get to that date. So the 53-man roster is set in August, late August. It said Sheduer will not be cut. He is going to be the starter. Patience. It's not about patience. It's not about patience. We ain't impatient. So saying to be patient is futile. This is not about patience or impatience. This is about a pattern of racism and discrimination against black NFL quarterbacks, which the NFL has already been proven what? To poorly, I guess you could say, to discriminate badly against black NFL quarterbacks or black quarterbacks in the NFL draft by doing what? Devalue them. I did so many videos posting that because it's public information. It's out there. They just don't want to talk about it. The black QBs become the majority at the position in the NFL. They would have been with Sheduer in number 17. Now, understand, they're not the majority in the league overall. And they working to refute that by trying to convert people like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen to pocket passers because that's how they get away from the athleticism. And they trying to go back. So, That's just what it is. That's what they're doing. So they're not the majority of all of the quarterbacks, but against all odds and every hurdle put in their way and every tactic, excessive sacks, uh, switching off the wide receiver, DB, or running back, this, that, and the other that we've been talking about going all the way back to Joe Gilliam. They still, with Shedeur Sanders coming in as the number 2 draft pick or a first round pick or QB1, would be 17 of 32, with Sheduer making it the majority, which is why I asked the question, are the Cleveland Browns and the NFL playing keep away with the QB1 position with Shedeur Sanders? What has changed since the draft? Not much. So if he gets the nod to QB1, that's 17. Somebody would have to tap out, quit, or whatever, like Winston. They'd have to cut him, but he's not a starter. Russ is supposed to be the starter. We're going to see what happens with that. We are going to see what happens with that because they took Russ from Pittsburgh and put him over there with Winston. So Sheduer going to Pittsburgh would have been 17. Russ was already a QB1. So that change was nothing. There's no gains there. Watson needs to take his and sit down somewhere. I think he's still there for a reason. It's the system that you can't trust. I don't know why. Are you taking up for this woman? I know you're not taking up for this woman. No, you can't trust the people who are trying to hold Sheduer back, the ones that you see. It's not just the system. They are partaking and participating in the holding back of Shedeur Sanders, the devaluing him, just like in the draft. It's the same thing. So yes, you can. You can definitely hold them accountable and call them out. Negro leagues must be brought back. Yes, we had them. We know we had them. We do. You do have to be patient. Soon as you spin up, you start getting sloppy, and Sheduer ain't no rush. What we're saying and what Sheduer got going on, he don't know us. It's two different things. When people say be patient, it's like they think we're speaking on this because we're in a rush. No, it's called accountability. It's called accountability. And patience and accountability don't go together. We saw what we saw in the NFL draft, and we're not going to sit here and just watch it happen again. So, no, we're not going to sit up here and wait and see what happens when we clearly see that they are putting hurdles in this young man's way, that they intentionally hold him back. You think it's a coincidence he didn't do 11 on 11 reps with the starters as well as he did? No, it's not. They either don't want Dylan to be left behind and they don't want to have to put Sheduer in front of Dylan, or they don't want us to see and everybody else to see that he's the best QB that they have and he looked better than Flacco and Kenny Pickett. At one point, Kenny Pickett was the odd man out. We see Dylan struggling. So it came down to Flacco and Sheduer, and now it looks like it's all Sheduer. With them saying Flacco can get traded if one of the rookies get it. One of the rookies? You mean Sheduer? Because Dylan is clearly struggling. Whether it's his height or anything else, he's struggling. And it proves that Sheduer was always the better quarterback in college, like people have already pointed out. You're talking about the system with the NFL. Yeah. So that's why I say is the NFL and the Cleveland Browns, or they playing keep away with the QB1 position at quarterback for Shedeur Sanders. That's what it looks like after 11 on 11 OTAs. Again, no first team reps. We know he's the best. Why would he not get the first team reps? And then tomorrow practice is closed, and that's it. And that's it. So okay, it said, yes, they are doing it on purpose, putting the hurdles in front of him when it clears them on how he can be denied. Right. No, we're not gonna sit here and tolerate a second round of public humiliation and devaluing of Shedeur Sanders. We're not doing that at all. So we're gonna get out of here. We are 1 hour and 4 minutes in. This is excellent. If you did not watch the video that I reacted to an interview that Mary Cabot had, please go and watch it. It's really good. Make sure you leave me some comments. Let's run it up, because people have been wanting this for somebody to say something. So I'm the somebody that said something. It's a good video. It's not long. It's only like 8 minutes. So go check it out and make sure you leave me some comments and let me know your thoughts. And if y'all like it, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. There's a lot of material out there. I feel like a comedian with a lot to work with. All right. Because D, we've already had our own everything and it got burned down, flooded, this, that, and the other. So it's not that it's not a want. It's the how you go about it in this type of environment. So that's what it is. All right. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all later. This was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be back at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks for watching What She Said Sports.